Welcome to Hope is Here. My name is Greg Horn. We're continuing our conversation with Dan Waits. He is the Executive Director of the Racetrack Chaplaincy of America. Nice acronym there, abbreviation, RTCA. It's an evangelical interdenominational nonprofit Christian organization whose purpose is to minister to the spiritual, emotional, physical, social, and the educational needs of those persons involved in all aspects of the horse racing industry. And yesterday he kind of shared just a little bit about how it got started, an unbelievable life change story of a gentleman that literally was hopeless, suicidal, made a lot of bad decisions, and then his life was transformed by Jesus Christ. And man, if you missed that, I want to really encourage you to check out the podcast for that. You can go to our website, let's do it at your convenience anytime at hopeishere.today. That's hopeishere.today, and check out yesterday's program with Dan Waits. Well, Dan, we got to talk a little bit about the organization, just a short description, and then about how it got founded. But just tell, you're over 40 tracks in the United States. Tell just what's it like. I know there's not a normal day, but just kind of share a little bit about what the racetrack chaplains do to help bring hope at these racetracks.
Yeah, certainly. There's no 2 days alike on the racetrack, and a chaplain wears many hats. There's the chaplain is really kind of the spiritual leader for a particular racetrack, and we have chaplains at Santa Anita, Del Mar, Keeneland, Emerald Downs, and I could go on and on and on. We have over 43 tracks. Tampa Bay, it just goes on and on and on. Saratoga, and so all these chaplains are out there, and they're serving this community, mostly on the back stretch, but also on the front side, the front offices, and they all hold church services on the back side of their tracks. They'll have Bible studies. They'll just like a typical pastor, they're going to visit the sick. They're going to minister to individuals in the hospital. They're going to minister to their families. They're going to lead prayer, and often people don't know this, but nearly before every racing day, a chaplain will go up to the jocks room and lead prayer with them and give a devotional. And so they also minister to the grooms that are around the track. Walking the shed rows and the barns of a racetrack, they will provide hope. A chaplain at all of our tracks will incredibly improve the environment just by presence and establishing, like you said, bringing hope to the racetrack. And so they'll walk the shed rows often after the early works. A lot of times for these racetracks, they begin at 4:30 in the morning, and the chaplain will be out there early in the morning just praying with the groom who lost somebody, or praying with the person who needs a little bit of spiritual encouragement. They'll go around and just check on people's families and follow up on somebody who maybe going through a sin issue that they need to deal with. So just like pastors, they just walk on into their congregation each and every day among these shed rows on the backside of the track, and they will just minister to people. And it's also too, they're ministering not only to the groom or the hot walker, they're also ministering to executives at the racetrack. And we recently had an executive that was had a brain tumor issue, and the chaplain was heavily involved in ministering to that family and ministering to that person. So they just serve and help and bring hope and light to wherever situation they're put in on the racetrack.
Well, I love that. The Bible talks about, light in the darkness and being a light. And, I know a lot of times we can get in our holy huddles and we can stereotype about, the racetrack, that they're, gambling and, drinking and carousing, all this stuff. And yet, people work there, and we're made in the image of God, and so those people matter to God.
Amen.
And so I love that you guys go to them to be with them, and I'm sure, just like you found in your many years of ministry, like I have, there could be numerous times that somebody just, kind of even ignores your presence. But then there's a day in everybody's life where I say they have to put the other knee down. Life gets so hard. They've got one knee down. They're kind of buckled like a boxer that's been punched and down on one knee. But then life kind of happens into an extreme point where they have to put the other knee down, and they know they just don't have control anymore. And at that point, because of just being there and having a presence, that's when I got to imagine sometimes that chaplains are able to be so effective in talking about Jesus and giving these people who've lost hope.
Absolutely. We had a recent picnic at one of our tracks, and a ministry team came in and just presented the gospel, and we had over a dozen, probably closer to 15 decisions for Christ. And that's something, again, when you see something like that, that's what it's all about. I mean, again, we're always going to serve everyone. We're always going to provide clothing. A lot of the chaplains have clothing closets. A lot of the chaplaincies have food pantries, and a lot of the chaplaincies go out and provide backpacks for their family, for the kids and stuff like that during the school year. And you see those tangible ministry exercises that are going on all the time throughout the entire calendar year. But then you also see the spiritual side, where you actually see that somebody discovers who Christ is and who gives their life. I mean, I get pictures all the time of baptisms happening on a regular basis in horse troughs or
Love it.
or pools or whatever. And it's just so encouraging, like when a chaplain calls me and says, hey Dan, guess what happened today? This happened. This person I thought would never come to Christ, and now they just became a new creation. And so it's very, very satisfying in that regard, and the fact that I think that Jesus really wanted us to go, and he wanted us to serve, and he actually said, leave the 99 and go find the one. And these chaplains are doing it each and every day.
Well, I love, you talked about the daily devotionals for the entire track community, and just like a lot of things, people have to work on Sundays a lot of times out there, and so instead of keep making, well, I just can't go to church, or the better yet, the lie that I've heard so many people say, man, if I showed up at church, the walls would cave in, and so you go to where they're at. And so I just love that. And one of the cool things is that we actually had a local pastor here that's now one of your chaplains, and you talking about, man, stepping out in faith, and I'll talk about that.
Yeah, Chaplain Mark Dunn, who, if everybody knows, in the Lexington area, Mark's a wonderful guy, one of my best friends. And Mark, I was talking to him one evening, and I said, you wouldn't want to be the chaplain at Santa Anita and Del Mar, would you, out in Southern California? And Greg, honestly, I didn't have any intention that he would look into that. And he went home and talked to Kathy and said, I really need to pray about that. And now he's out there serving, doing a terrific ministry. If you go to Track Chap on Facebook and look at that page, you can see an event that he had yesterday. It was a huge picnic out there for all the backside, and people are just having fun and just enjoying what we've always enjoyed with Mark's ministry here in the Lexington area. They're out there getting a taste of the great things that he can bring to a track, and so he's embraced that, and it's just tremendous.
Yeah, it really is. He was a pastor here. I think he went to Lafayette, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
So it was pastor at a church. I can't believe on Winchester Road. I can't think of
Macedonia.
the name. Macedonia.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Macedonia Christian for many years, well loved, and man, could have put it kind of in cruise control and stayed there and played it safe. And I can imagine when you asked the question, you probably expect him just to laugh. But I tell you, boy, some of the most dangerous words ever is when you say, "I'll pray about that."
That's right.
How God could ambush us. But I love that Mark did pray about it, and see what he and his wife Kathy are doing are incredible.
Yes.
So there's a lot of local ties, but hey, they 43 different racetracks, and obviously we love Keeneland and Lexington, Red Mile and all that, but God's doing a lot of work at racetracks all over the country, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and that's the great thing too. At Churchill, which is close to us, and I think everybody within your listening audience is familiar with Churchill. The one thing, Greg, that's been very satisfying is you were talking about the devotionals that they give every day. We have to realize that the racetrack doesn't operate on a regular work schedule, right? So on Sundays, often they're working, and they have to get these horses ready, and they have to be able to. So you'll see a lot of times that the church services are held on Tuesday night, Thursday night, whenever that they can gather everyone together, or whatever time's best for the community. And at Churchill, they do theirs on Tuesday night. But the amount of other churches who have gotten involved with that, who actually come in and run the clothing closet, or run the food pantry, or come in and cook the meals for the workers and that type of thing. A lot of those churches will tell you that it's one of the most one of the most fulfilling ministries that they've ever been a part of. They can come in and serve, and they can meet people, especially for the Hispanic community, is the fact that they can minister to so many people collectively, and they just love it. Here at Keeneland as well, Chaplain Dean Carpenter, who's here at Keeneland, he has local churches that are involved, and once the local church gets involved with a chaplaincy on the backside, or the backside of a racetrack, they embrace it. They dive in, and they just find it the most fulfilling way to serve that there is. And so again, I would encourage, if anybody's listening, that if they wanted to get involved with a local racetrack, no matter where it is across the country, I can get them hooked up. I can actually make a connection.
What is your all's website if people want to go and find out more information about your organization, how they can maybe contact their local chaplain?
Yeah, the website is rtcanational.org, O-R-G, and we also have a Facebook page. You'll see on there all the different chaplains that serve all across the country and beyond. And there's a serve page on there where you just click on, say, hey, I want to be a volunteer, and you can find some of the most rewarding ministry to be a part of just by doing that. Many Sunday school classes will embrace that. Just say, hey, you know what? On Wednesday nights we're going to go to the track, and we're going to feed people, and we're going to worship with them, and that type of thing. Incredibly satisfying ministry.
Well, I love the idea with the picnic you talked about that Mark Dunn did, just having good fun. I mean, I think sometimes people think as followers of Jesus, it's just, being holy all the time, walking around with a solemn face and your hands together, like you're in prayer mode. And obviously that's a part of it. But, Jesus liked to have fun. His first miracle was performed at a wedding. And I know Mark Dunn loves to have fun. And so I'm sitting here thinking about people that say, well, I don't know, what gifts I have, but wow, I mean, if you could speak Spanish, and I know that's a really growing, a lot of people do that now here in this area. I mean, man, just to love on people. I mean, I just got done reading a book called Everybody Always by Bob Goff. You don't have to be able to sing or teach or have lots of money. I mean, just going and having a presence means everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And that's the thing that it's, again, the chaplains can't do it all. They just can't, and every chaplain will tell you, I've got to have support. I've got to have those people that rally around me. That kind of like, with Moses, you got to have the Aaron and Hur on the other side lifting the arms up. You've got to be able to have some support for your chaplain, and I think that's a lot of the way in the church as well. I think some of the ministers out there, everybody says, hey, that's the minister's job, or hey, the minister can do it. We need to support our clergy, and we really need to support our chaplains, our pastors, and rally around them and encourage them. And the best way that you can encourage them is get involved and to be that hands and feet of Christ.
All right. Well, you've had a great just description of what goes on with the Racetrack Chaplaincy of America. So no matter where you're located, I know people listen to podcasts in 22 different states. Could be more by now. That's the last time I checked a couple weeks ago, from California to Connecticut. So go to the website, RTCA, that stands for Racetrack Chaplaincy of America, rtcanational.org. That's rtcanational.org. Just click on serve, as Dan talked about, and you can find out more information about how you get involved. Well, stay with us. We're going to talk more about this wonderful organization and how they're providing hope at the racetrack. I'm Greg Horn. We'll see you tomorrow on Hope is Here.
Kevin Bradley is the #1 RE/MAX real estate agent in the state of Kentucky, and he lives right here in Scott County. Having sold over 200 homes in 2017, Kevin would welcome the opportunity to help you buy or sell your home, or answer any real estate questions that you have. Kevin is a proud supporter of Georgetown College men's and women's basketball. Contact Kevin Bradley today at 859-619-9896. That's 859-619-9896 with REMAX Creative Realty.